Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a tool calling agent. In a generic agent architecture, we simply pass the tool message back to the model. We can let it either call another tool or respond directly. This is the intuition behind React. So there are three steps to a React agent architecture. The first one is act, observe, and the third one is reason. So we will start by loading the environment variables in the notebook. For that, we are going to import load.env from .env package, and then we are going to call that function, which is going to load the environment variable which we have created inside the .env file. I'm going to create three functions which I want the large language model to have access to. So we are going to create three functions. The first function is going to be a multiply function. The second being the add function. And the third one is going to be a divide function. Now all these functions we are going to put inside a list of tools. We are just going to run this cell. Then we are going to import an instance of chat OpenAI from LangChain. Once we have done that, we are going to initiate it. So LLM equal to chat OpenAI, and then I can select the model which I want to use. So this time I'm going to use GPT-4o. To bind the large language model with the tools, we are going to use a function bind tools. Generally, the mathematics is done sequentially, and hence we are not going to call these functions in parallel. We are going to call it sequentially. Hence, we just have to pass the parallel tool calls equal to false. Next, I'm going to create some messages for the agent to use. For that, I'm going to import the messages from LangChain core. So from LangChain core.messages import human message and system message. And we are going to create a system message here. You are a helpful assistant tasked with performing arithmetic on a set of inputs. Now we are going to define a node which is going to act as an assistant. This node is going to have message state, and we are going to return a dictionary of messages from this node. For this, I'll have to import another class which is messages state. Next, we are going to define a graph using LangGraph. So from LangGraph.graph, I'm going to import start and state graph. from LangGraph dot pre-build, I'm going to import tools condition. From LangGraph dot pre-build, I'm also going to import tool node. And to display the graph, I will need ipython dot display import image comma display. Let's create the graph now. So builder equals to state graph, and then we can initialize it with the messages state. The first edge we are going to add to this graph is going to be the assistant node. So let's see. So builder dot add node, I'm going to call it assistant, and the function which we just created, assistant function, after that we are going to add another node which is going to be a tools node. So let's name it tools, and then we are going to use a utility from LangGraph which is going to create a tool node for us. After that, once we have built these two nodes, we are going to connect it to the start node. So builder dot add edge from start to the assistant node. And after that, we are going to have a conditional edge between the assistant and the tools node. So builder dot add conditional edges, assistant, and we are going to use the tools condition. Now this tools condition is going to check whether there is a tool message present in the output of the assistant node or not. If it is present, it is going to go to the tools node, otherwise it is going to go to the end node. After that, we are going to do the final step, which is adding a edge from the tools node back to the assistant. We are allowing the model to go back to the assistant. Let's name it React Graph builder.compile, and to display the graph we can even just do this. So it is going to show us the graph which we just created, and as you can see there is a edge back to the assistance from the tool node. So next we are going to invoke this graph. For that I'm going to create a list of messages where the first message is going to be the human message, where I'm going to pass some content. Now this content is going to be a sequential step of mathematics. So add 3 and 4, multiply the output by 2, divide by 5. So that's going to be my input. Let's call the React graph using the invoke function, messages colon messages. Now to have a look at these messages, what went inside by looking at the messages which came as an output. So m.predict. So as we can see, this was the input which was fed to the assistant node. Now that has resulted into a tools call with add function, and the arguments 3 and 4 were being passed to the add function. That resulted into an output 7. Now after that it has gone back to the assistant, and the assistant has decided that it has to call the multiply function. So the output, which is 7, is then being multiplied with 2, and then the output is again being fed back to the assistant, and it goes on happening until we get the final result. And finally the agent is going to return us a output in a human readable language. So the result of adding 3 and 4, multiplying the result by 2 and then dividing by 5 is going to be 2.8. So that's it. If you like the content, please do like and subscribe.